Good evening and welcome to Manning Field. As we're set to start this interleague girls soccer, St. Mary's from the Catholic Central League. Newburyport, I believe, is the Cape Ann. I hope I'm correct. Newburyport in the white, St. Mary's in the blue. Both teams are going to the state tournament. Newburyport has lost one game. They're 13-1-3. St. Mary's is 9-5-2. Kevin Sheridan, nice gentleman. I had a nice talk with him before the game. Helped me out. Coach of the Clippers of Newburyport. Patty Ryan doing a very nice job with St. Mary's. And he said the ball went out. The problem now is I think we only have one official. And I mistook him for a DPW guy. He's wearing a bright gold jacket. So he's all by himself. There's Angelina Awumi in there. She's been out. She was hurt. She's a very good basketball player. Her sister, Bella, outstanding basketball player. Unfortunately, won't be going back to St. Mary's. She's going to prep school. St. Mary's was trying to let her go out, and it was a Newburyport player coming in behind her. She didn't see. Skabikas knocks it deep. Newburyport gets there and knocks it out before DeCessa could get there. Few fans here for this. It's a horrible night. It's probably going to rain a little bit more. It's been drizzling off and on. Overcast, gray, ice cold. If it's 50, it's just barely 50. They kick it to the net. St. Mary's is there. They got a foot on it, redirected it, but they couldn't get a lot on it. It was bouncing high. They tip it. The defender blocked it, and then St. Mary's knocked it out. So hard to believe this is the last game of the regular season here on LETV. And the kick for the goalie goes out of play. I don't think any of the soccer teams will be home in the tournament the way the rankings go. But congratulations to the Lynn Tech girls. First time in 10 years, J.D. Perry doing a very nice job. First time they've ever qualified for the state tournament. They got 10 wins. So congratulations to the Lady Tigers. St. Mary's boys and girls are both in the tournament, soccer-wise. St. Mary's boys, right now the only team qualifying for the state tournament. English is on the bubble. St. Mary's kicks it out. English is 18th. They're 2 slots out, but there's a couple of teams ahead of them who don't have enough wins. They've got like 2 or 3 wins. They have to win their last game or 2. Otherwise, English could get in it. St. Mary's trying to kick it away. Newburyport trying to get it to the net. They banged it out off Skabikas. She blocked the shot. It goes out, and the Clippers will get a throw in down deep. I don't know. We might have two officials now. I thought the guy on the other side was one of the coaches for the Clippers. Normally, the two officials have to be dressed the same. But the one on the other side is totally black. And I mentioned that the one on the near side I thought was a DPW guy wearing a bright yellow jacket. It's nice to see Angelina Owumi back. She got hurt. She's been out quite a while. Tipped around, and we got contact against Newburyport, trying to get the ball. I think there was Tukulski. Fiona Dunn with the kick away. Now they knock it deep, and it's blocked by Newburyport. And then Cameron Dunn knocked it off Newburyport. And Owumi will put it in play for St. Mary's. Loose. I should say a big congratulations to Sophie Skabikas. She's done it all. She broke the school record for goals. She broke the school record for total points. She's had exceptional career, and here she comes now with the ball. Trying to get around. Newburyport hustles and cuts her off, and Newburyport knocks it out. Good hustle by Newburyport defense. I'm sitting in the press box. We got the door open where the camera is, but it's away from me. And I'm freezing. So I can imagine what those people are down in the stands. And there's a few. It's nice to see. St. Mary's wearing the pink socks for the month of October. Newburyport knocks it deep. St. Mary's hustling to get there, and they just knock it out. Lights were on right at the start of this one, even though it's the early game. Tipped away by the defense, and Skabikas knocks it upfield. And Skabikas again breaking it up. And they try to knock it deep. Newburyport blocked it. And they knock it deep, and they knocked it too deep. It's going to go out of play. And we don't have any ball boys or ball girls, so they have to chase the ball. Extra work for the players. But it is really unbelievable that the season is over. This being Wednesday, with October closing down, I'm assuming that the tournament and non-tournament games will be probably November 7th and then the 14th. So we should get, Glasgow will probably get a game here, at least one of those 2 dates. I think they get 1 game home, 1 game away in the non-tournament. St. Mary's, we mentioned, might get a home game in the tournament. Tech and Kip will probably be playing here in the non-tournament as Dunn knocks it upfield. Skabikas picked it off. Taking a shot from long range. Wide left. Good bid. She's a danger from any place on the field. She can get it to the net. That just went wide left. So whatever those non-tournament games for football will be, whether it's the 7th, the 11th, they'll play those, and then we'll be here for Thanksgiving. It'll be Tech against Kip. Thanksgiving Eve, I believe, and then Thanksgiving Day will be the granddaddy, English and Glasgow, as both teams make substitutions. But again, it's hard to believe that it's over. Bodies go down, they let it go. Bodies go down again. They're going to call that one. Skabikas got knocked down twice. No call. Just inside the 25, they're putting it back at the 25, straight on. Skabikas will get the kick. And she drills it wide left. And it got deflected. It tipped off a white jersey, went out of play. And St. Mary's will get a corner kick from the far side. First corner kick of the game. Everybody been milling around. They'll break to the net as she kicks the ball. Out in front. And St. Mary's knocked it home. And I think it was Skabikas. And now I think it was Fiona Dunn. Corner kick came across, and I think it was Fiona Dunn. I thought at first it was Skabikas. It might have been Skabikas who took the kick as they kick it out of play. And perfect corner kick. And I think it was Fiona Dunn who came in from her defensive play to get out in front of the net. And she got a piece of it and knocked it home. So I checked with my cameraman. He tells me my second choice was correct. I saw the little red ribbon in her hair, and that made me think it was Skabikas because she has a red ribbon. But then I noticed that Dunn does too. And I saw her coming back, and I said, no, it was her. Her father is one of the co-coaches in the team. Her mother is the principal at Glasgow. And she's playing with Sister Cameron Dunn. St. Mary's going to get called for contact. Sienna LeClaire will take the kick from the 30-yard line. Gets it up and pushed it way too far right. Didn't come back, just stayed out and went way out of play. Headed back by the Clippers. Broken up. St. Mary's will kick it out of play. They tip it away. Newburyport's going to track it down. St. Mary's picks it off, and they knock it deep. And I think it bounced up and got Newburyport on the hand, and that's going to give St. Mary's the free kick. Again, it's going to be dead on from the 30-yard line. I think it's going to be done taking it. No, it's going to be Skabikas. Last time she did this, it set up the goal because it got tipped. Line shot right in the middle of the net. And Chloe Raby made the save and kicks it away. She's in net for the Clippers. Eleni Echeverria for the Lady Spartans. And they kicked it away. They were trying to kick it away. It was bouncing around. And I think it was Tukalski who was bearing down, and Echeverria just took it away from her. Now she's got it. And she takes the shot. It got blocked nicely. I think that was Cameron Dunn with the block. They knock it to the net. Echeverria will play it on a hop and kick it away. Headed back by Newburyport. And there's a crunch from behind. Tukalski was going for the ball, and she ran right in to McKenna O'Connell and knocked her down. I thought it was going to be a kick. Awumi was getting set to throw it in. Now Awumi's going to kick it in. I thought it was a kick. Newburyport picks it off, takes it back to the St. Mary's end. They knock it deep. And St. Mary's just kick it out of play. Both teams making a substitution. Throw in down deep by Newburyport. I don't know whether they called it offside or whether she made a mistake throwing it in. The rules of this game are always going to baffle me. They blew the whistle when she threw it in and gave it back to St. Mary's. Now Newburyport takes it away. They get it in the middle. And he can't get it to the near side. St. Mary's knocks it away. And it gets knocked further away by O'Connell. Newburyport gets ahead. They knock it up, and it's going to go out of play. Alumi again will put it in play. O'Connell bicycle kicks it upfield. They blocked it. They knocked it off St. Mary's. Halfway through and counting this first half in this interleague battle, St. Mary's on a perfect corner kick, tipped in by Fiona Dunn, has a 1-0 lead. O'Connell trying to keep it alive. Does. Newburyport takes it away. They knock it deep. It is Stakowski taking it away. They give it back. They try to center it. Samir's got a foot, but tipped it right to Newburyport. And when Newburyport touched it, Stakowski was still deep behind everybody, and they called her offside. Dunn will kick it away. St. couldn't keep it in. St. picked it off, and they knock it back upfield. Tipped away. Newburyport knocks it into the Newburyport bench area. St. Mary's will get the throw in from there. Yeah, we'll have a couple of substitutions again. Coming out of the net, Chloe Raby, or Rabby. I guess it's Rabby. I mentioned, talking to Coach Sheridan, Kevin Sheridan, before the game, he was putting down the little plastic, I don't know what they call them. They use them in pregame warm-up. Little plastic plates, like. He was putting them down when I was walking in, and he had a short sleeve shirt. And I said to him, "You realize it's winter and it's very cold?" He said, "Oh, I got jackets over there. I just want to get this down so we can get started." I said, "You better hurry up. You're going to catch pneumonia." I only got to talk to him a couple of minutes, but he seemed like a very nice gentleman. He's really doing a nice job with his team. That was Basta knocking it out for St. Mary's. Leclerc putting it in play for Newburyport. Tukulski pulling it back out, all the way back to the middle. She was down deep in the corner and came all the way to the middle of the field. Shot, and they score! They knocked it up. I think it's Sevilla Coffin. She just might as well put it on the net. She tipped it. It went high over the head of Echeverria, just under the top crossbar. Left-footed. And Newburyport has tied it up. both right. I got it too. Something's got to be going wrong. Last game of the season, I'm finally picking out the players who scored the goals. It's very difficult, with all the teams, because as soon as they score, the entire team surrounds the goal scorer, and it's very difficult to pick up who got the goal. It's difficult to pick up the numbers anyway. I got outstanding camera people who help me. Skabika's trying to get around, trying to get loose to try and get a shot. She got taken down and run over right in front of the official. No call. She's slow getting up. Last thing you want is for her to get hurt in the last game of the season before the tournament. She's still way upfield. Newburyport keeps it in the St. Mary's end. And Newburyport's going to get called. Dunn kicks it away. And Newburyport kicks it back. And kick deep by Savastra. It goes all the way to Echeverria, and she'll kick it away. They pick it off, Newburyport. They take it back. Roebuck knocks it to the far side. Tipped from behind by St. Mary's and knocked out. The Clippers will get the ball down deep for the throw-in after they make a couple of substitutions. 3 of them, actually. Bouncing. And he bounced it off St. Mary's. Newburyport's going to get a corner kick from the far side. Bouncing loose, it's still loose. And on the ground, Echeverria dove and recovered the fumble. Everybody around the ball, bodies all over the place, and Echeverria was able to fall on it and kick it away. I'm looking over at the Newburyport bench. I mentioned I talked to Coach Sheridan before. He was wearing a short-sleeve shirt. I wouldn't recognize him now. Got a big, heavy jacket and a hat. Good defense by St. Mary's to knock it away. Newburyport gets it back. They get it to LeClaire. She pushes it up. And that's Castellini trying to get around. Can't. Pass is picked off. St. Mary's kicks it away. And they couldn't keep it in. It went out of play. And we'll have a couple of substitutions again for both teams. And it'll be LeClaire throwing it in again. Tip to the net off Ruby Reardon. Hello. Ruby Reardon was the one that got that shot on net, but it bounced right into the lap of Echeverria for the easy save. And they had to go chase the ball again. They have I believe they do, they have a ball girl on the near side. They're not getting any help on the far side. Everybody can get ahead on it. Newburyport finally comes away with it. And they knock it back deep, and they kick it upfield. And Castellini tried to knock it up. Awumi got a piece of it. And they let that go for a while. I thought it hit St. Mary's on the hand, and they let it go for a while before they finally blew the whistle. And Ava Rani will take the kick. Pops it up. And it went off the head of St. Mary's. I thought it went off the head of St. Mary's. They're calling it off Newburyport. St. Mary's will kick it away. Dunn will do the honors. Kicks it up, and it goes out of play. And once again, Leclerc will throw it in. Skavikas knocks it deep. Nobody there but white shirts. And Newburyport kicks it out of play. And Awumi will put it in play. Popped straight up in the air. Newburyport got a foot on it, might have got a knee on it, knocked it upfield. St. Mary's knocks it to the far side. Battling going on. St. Mary's comes away with it. And it went. Try to get it up front. It went off the foot and banged away to Sessa. Now the shot gets blocked. Newburyport knocking it deep. And Samir's going to knock it out of play. Headed away by St. Mary's. Trying to center it. They get it. It's complete. They get it down. They couldn't get a good kick on. It's going to go out of play. Dunn will get to use that right foot again. Up to Awumi. Skavikas knocking it deep. Newburyport battling. I think they knocked it out off to Sessa. Yeah, that one goes out off Ava Rainey. Or Rani. Newburyport clears it away. O'Connell couldn't get to it. O'Connell took one of the Newburyport players down. O'Connell with it. Couldn't get the shot off. St. Mary's has it taken away. O'Connell gave it up, but they couldn't get the shot off. They were in close enough, but they couldn't get the ball off. And Newburyport finally took it away. And now we got contact, and Newburyport's going to get the kick. Not a nice night to be out there playing in shorts and a t-shirt. Everybody, the subs and the coaches on the benches are all got 6 layers of clothing on, trying to warm up. Everybody getting wrapped up. They're letting them play a lot. They're letting a little bit go. That was Castellini trying to get away from the defense, couldn't, but when she finally got down deep, off her foot and out of play. And St. Mary's will make a substitution. They just tip it up to Owumi. And she knocks it out of play. She was trying to get it up to Weber. And Randy will, actually it'll be Leclerc putting it in play for Newburyport. Owumi knocked it out, knocked it away from Randy. Trying to get a shot off, can't, there's too many St. Mary's players, they can't get the shot off. Now they line it up, and even Randy just put her 2 hands to her head saying, I can't believe I did that. She had an opportunity to get it on net, and she shanked it and pushed it, sliced it off to the left and out of play. I'm not sure what the officials doing now, going over and talking to Dunn. I don't know what that was all about. She doesn't kick it upfield, she just kicks it across. Now they kick it upfield. And that bounced and hit Newburyport on the hand. So a free kick coming up. Right from midfield. And they kick it up. It skips by everybody and rolls into the net, and Chloe Rabby will get it and hold on, and now she'll kick it away. Gets it to midfield, and we had contact against St. Mary's. Scoreboard clock will stop running. The time will be kept by the official down on the field as we're closing down in this 1-1 interleague battle between St. Mary's and Newburyport. Put it upfield. Sessa knocks it further. St. Mary's hustling, and it gets knocked out. And I think St. Mary's knocked it out. Knocked upfield. Newburyport collects. Broken up. St. Mary's battling, fighting to keep it in, and overran it. That was the Cessna, took it away nicely and then overran it. And now Newburyport kicks it out of play. And Awumi very quickly gets it in play. And that went off the foot. Baxter made the pass. St. Mary's gets it back. And Newburyport knocks it deep. Tipped away by St. Mary's, but Newburyport recovers. Popped up, headed up. Knocked away by St. Mary's. And going off the head of Awumi behind the St. Mary's bench. And they blow the whistle, and that's going to do it for the first half. So a perfect corner kick. We think it was Skabikis. Dunn was out in front. Fiona Dunn tipped it by the goaltender. St. Mary's had a 1-0 lead. And then it was Sikowski deep down in the corner. Kept trying to come out. She finally came from the dead in the corner all the way out to the middle, from the near side to the middle, and it popped loose and popped right on the foot of Sevilla Coffin from the 20-yard line. She kicked a little pop fly that just went over the head of Eleni Echeverria and just nestled in under the top crossbar and gave Coffin the goal and gave Newburyport a tie back, and that's where we are. St. Mary's 1, Newburyport 1 at halftime. Welcome back, as we're set to start the second half, and we'll start it the same way we started the first half, dead even, except both teams have scored a goal. St. Mary's with the ball. Skabikis knocks it deep. St. Mary's trying to keep it in play, and they do. No, now they're going to call it out. So Fiona Dunn got the first one to make it 1-0 St. Mary's, and then Sevilla Coffin with a nice little pooch kick just over the head of the goaltender from the 20-yard line, tied for Newburyport, and that's where we are, with 40 minutes to play. DeSessa got blocked from behind, lost it. Newburyport kicks it to the near side, pushing it up. They try to kick it deep. That was Grace Parsons. Her pass got blocked, and St. Mary's just knocks it out of play. Shot. That was Coffin again. She drilled that from the 15-yard line. It looked like it was going to go inside the near post. Echeverria just dove and with two hands knocked it away and knocked it out. And Newburyport will get a corner kick. So Coffin almost got her second. Very good effort, very good shot. St. Mary's trying to clear it away. And they're going to call Newburyport for taking St. Mary's down right in front of the net. There's always a pile of players there waiting for that kick. And when it got loose, Newburyport ran over the St. Mary's player. So St. Mary's will kick it away. How they carry it upfield. And they try to knock it deep, and they knocked it out. We mentioned both of these teams will be going to the state tournament. I would guess that the Clippers would probably get a home game with their record. You know, only one loss, 13 wins and 3 ties. Can't do much better than that. That bounced off Parsons. St. Mary's had it, knocked away. And he just kept it in. Still with it, still walking in. Still with it. What a great rush. Sokolsky. She went deep, came out of the end zone. She did that before in the first half. And that set up the shot by Coffin that got the goal. And she almost did it again. And they set up the shot and couldn't get a lot on it. And Parsons' shot was picked by Echeverria. Newburyport put a lot of pressure on. They knock it deep, and St. Mary's knocks it up and away. Picked off nicely by St. Mary's. I think that was Basta with the play. St. Mary's trying to knock it to the middle, gets knocked away. Newburyport knocks it upfield, foot race. St. Mary's gets there and knocks it into the Newburyport bench area. Knocked down, St. Mary's picks up the rebound. Skavikas got a foot on it but couldn't control it. Now St. Mary's gets it back. Nice little shift, taking it down the far side. I think that's O'Connell. Dumps it down. Skavikas, they triple team. She tried to center it. She knocked it up on top of the net and out of play. Punch it deep. Newburyport knocks it back. Headed by Newburyport. Bouncing loose. Everybody trying to get a foot on it. Newburyport finally kicks it upfield. St. Mary's, that was a Woomy, I think, stepping in front and blocking it. Newburyport got it back. Down the far side. Shot hopped right in front of Echeverria, and she got a piece of it, tipped it away, and it went out of bounds. Bounced off Echeverria, went out of bounds all the way to the far side. Bouncing ball. Newburyport comes away with it. Picked off by St. Mary's. And the pass was behind Skavikas. Knocked away. St. Mary's winds up with it. And they tried to get it upfield, and it was Cameron Dunn knocking it out. And it went out off De La Rocha. Emily Homer will throw it in. Skavikas is yelling at the official. She just got knocked down without any call. She was not happy with that. They called it out off Skavikas, and she let the official know she wasn't happy. The kick, trying to center it, wound up off the side of the net, out of play. And St. Mary's will kick it away. Fiona Dunn has been using it right foot quite a bit. She overran that one and just tips it back to the goalie, and they bring it back the other way. She ran up to kick it, and she misfired, just ran right by it. Popped straight up in the air, headed back. Newburyport almost lost it. Cameron Dunn got a piece, and the pass was picked off by LeClaire. Newburyport back at it in the St. Mary's end. They knock it deep. St. Mary's will let it go out of play. Echeverry will kick it away. Newburyport picked off the pass, almost walked in. Dunn got it back and kicked it away. Headed away by St. Mary's and knocked into the Newburyport bench area. St. Mary's can't get it out of their end. A couple of changes for the Clippers. Gets by, bodies go down, the ball goes out of play. They're waiting for a call from the official. It looks like they're going to give the ball to Newburyport. Are they going to give him a kick for the takedown? It's not going to be a corner kick. It is going to be a kick. So when the players went down, one from each team went down, and they give the kick to Newburyport. Out in front, it goes through. That's got to look at it. That's one of those where she might get blocked out by somebody, and by the time she realizes the ball there, it's in the net. But she did a good job catching that one as it went through right by a few players out in front of the net. Newburyport just keeping it in the St. Mary's end. Popped straight up, headed back. Nice little shift. They knock it deep. And body goes down. And it's going to be a free kick, I think. Now they give it a throw, and they didn't do anything with the takedown. And here's Tukowski again, coming right from one end to the other, getting up to the middle, but couldn't get a shot off. Now she gets the shot off and knocks it wide right. Ball was bouncing around. Still 1-1 in this intercity battle, interleague battle, I should say. St. Mary's from the Catholic Central League, and I'm guessing that Newburyport is from the Cape Ann League. But I mentioned both teams going to the state tournament. The difference is that Newburyport will probably get a home game. St. Mary's will be on the road. Again, St. Mary's can't get it out of their end. They tried to knock it deep. It got blocked nicely. And picked off and knocked back by Delaney Duncan. It gets knocked deep. Echeverria will field it. Poops it away. It gets it past midfield. And his little push for a takedown, they let that go too. They're letting him play a little bit. They take the shot from long range, goes wide right, out of play. Newburyport's just keeping St. Mary's back on their heels. The ball hasn't been in the Newburyport end, I don't think, at all in this first almost 15 minutes. And it stays in the St. Mary's end. Just went wide, then the shot got blocked, and they knock it out. They might have called them offside. They walked right in, got the shot, then the second shot got blocked, and when it got blocked a little bit upfield, the player took the shot, was still downfield. So they called the offside, and Echeverria will give it to Dunn to kick away. And one's up right back in the St. Mary's end. And boy, they wrapped each other up. And Tukalski, little extracurricular activity after that. There was a wrap up. Tukalski didn't like it. It looked like Tukalski got knocked down, and they called it against her. I guess they could have called it against either one, but she didn't like it. She went. Luckily, she didn't do anything, but she took one quick step right back at St. Mary's. Blocked and knocked back. That was Cameron Todd getting it back on the St. Mary's end. St. Mary's trying to kick it deep. They can't. Knocked back. Todd knocks it deep again. Tukalski. Yeah, it goes out off St. Mary's. We played 16 minutes in the second half, and St. Mary's been on the defensive end the entire 16 minutes, and here's another takedown. I think that was LeClaire going down. Coffin, who has the goal, will take the free kick right around the 20-yard line from the near side. And now they're checking the two-person picket fence, and they were actually too far back. He moved them up a foot. Coffin will take the kick. She drills it right to the net. And there were two white shirts bearing down, and Echeverria caught it right, basket catch, right at the belt buckle. This is the first time St. Mary's had had it in possession in the Newburyport end. Skabik is trying to get loose for a kick, takes it, and knocks it wide left. And we'll have substitutions for both teams. Now they're going to kick it away. Look like they're going to give it to one of the defenders. Knocked down. St. Mary's has it. Skavikas winds up with it. Trying to get loose. Takes another kick from long range. This one goes wide right. She hasn't seen a kick she hasn't liked. Usually she's putting it right on the net. You don't score like she does, missing the net too many times. So they're going to kick it away again. Skavikas heads it back. Knocked loose. And Newburyport knocks it back upfield. St. Mary's knocks it out. Again, those brave fans, sitting out in this ice cold weather, and it's drizzling a little bit too. A couple of umbrellas out. Coming downfield, pushing it up. Trying to go to the middle, it got blocked away. Skavikas gets it back, knocks it deep, and they let it go through. And Rabi will take it and kick it away. Headed back by St. Mary's. Skavikas with it. Trying to get around. Takes another kick. Wide left. She's kicking those, hoping that somebody is breaking in from the near side of the far siding, maybe getting a piece or deflecting. St. Mary's will make a change. We're halfway through and counting the second half in a 1-1 game. This is a good tester for St. Mary's getting ready for the state tournament, playing a team this good. And here we are back in the St. Mary's end. Newburyport pushed it too far. It's going to go out of play. No, St. Mary's kept it in play. Now I understand why. It was out of bounds prior to her kicking the ball. I can't see the out of bounds from here. Newburyport gets it to the middle of the field. They get control. They get it back in the middle. St. Mary's just tips it away. They knock it deep. Todd trying to get it to the net, got it there. Echeverria had to make another save. She's been busy in this second half. Newburyport left it. St. Mary's took it away. They knock it deep. Newburyport knocked it down. Gets blocked by Skavikas. Taken away by St. Mary's. Trying to walk in. They take the shot. It looked like it was going to go wide left. And Rabi dove for it, got a hand on it, knocked it out. St. Mary's will get a corner kick. One of the few times they've been down this end with the ball. They've been back on their heels most of the second half. Loose, blocked, kicked again. Newburyport finally kicks it away. They had a couple of chances, but the ball wasn't settling. They couldn't get a good kick. Basta with it. Gives it back to Skavikas. Turns around, boots it right to the net. Rabbi made the save, and that was, I think that was DeSessa, right in her lap, hoping for a rebound. Skabikas put that right on the money. And that was actually Laura Weber who was bearing down on the goaltender. And here we are back in St. Mary's End with a free kick coming from the 30-yard line now. Newburyport got all set to kick the ball, and they blew the whistle and said, no, St. Mary's kicks it. So Dunn boots it down. Off Skabikas, who got knocked down. They're letting them play. They haven't blown the whistle too often. Now, I don't know if they call contact there because, no, they didn't. Went out. Newburyport throws it in. And Newburyport right back in the St. Mary's End. Looking to walk in, still walking in. It got tipped away, and Echeverria picks it up and she'll kick it away. Echeverria got knocked down, and the official's going to give Newburyport a yellow card. Right, now he's talking to Skabikas. Skabikas got knocked down. I thought they were giving Newburyport a yellow card. He gave it to Skabikas. No, he pulled something out of his pocket. I thought he was going to give a yellow. He didn't. But now they just put the ball in play. They're really letting him play. Skabikas got a foot and kicked it way out of play. She's having a terrible time with both officials. She's been knocked down a few times. And players have been knocked down on both sides. And they're not calling really anything. The last thing you want to do is see somebody get hurt. Yeah, they blow the whistle. And they're all looking at the official, what he's going to do. I don't know what that call was. They're giving it back to Rabbi to kick away. I have no idea what that call was. Newburyport is circling the troops at midfield, talking about something. I don't know. That ball was in play. They blew the whistle, and now they're going to blow the whistle for a timeout. So just under 15 minutes left in a 1-1 game, we got a timeout. The timeout in this bizarre game. I have no idea what these officials are calling and not calling. I don't know what that call was, but it's coming back. Rabbi to kick it away. And now she is going to kick it away. The defenders come upfield. Sometimes she gives it to one of her defenders. Bounces. St. Mary's had it. Newburyport knocks it, and it goes out of play. There's a lot of takedowns. There's a bizarre calls. The officials aren't anywhere near the play. The official on the near side hasn't crossed midfield the entire half. He's still at the 40-yard line. Hasn't crossed midfield. And the other official, I didn't even know he was the official when it started the game. I thought he was one of the assistant coaches for Newburyport. Roebuck knocks it downfield. It skipped past everybody. Newburyport going to get it, and they knock it home. Coming in from the far side. According to my cameraman, Lucia Savastra is the one that knocked that home. We hope that's correct. They made that long pass. St. Mary's knocks it down. They can't get the shot off. Weber had to first knock the pass down and then try to get control. And she couldn't. Tip back. St. Mary's has it. But they made that long pass downfield, and they beat the defense, got to the ball. Echeverry came out to cut down the angle, but they just ripped it by her. And now we got a takedown. Cameron Dunn looking for the ball. Instead, got a piece of Parsons and took her down. So now it's Newburyport with a 2-1 lead. And all that pressure, they just keeping the ball on the St. Mary's end. St. Mary's knocks it away. Newburyport tracks it down. Trying to knock it deep. St. Mary's got a piece and knocked it out. Newburyport keeps it in. Pop straight up in the air. Everybody taking a shot at it. Newburyport winds up with it. St. Mary's knocks it away. Newburyport keeps it in the St. Mary's end. Trying to knock it deep. Deflected off Tukulski. That was Fuentes battling. Now Fuentes will throw it in. And Fuentes kicks it right to the net. Takes a big hop. And she comes out right out to the goal line. Picked that one off. And she'll kick it away. High kick. Newburyport got a foot on it and knocked it out of play. St. Mary's will make a change. And Newburyport makes a change. They throw it deep. Newburyport kicks it away. And it goes out off St. Mary's. And they throw it out of play. Right into the lap of Coach Kevin Sheridan for Newburyport. Tipped away. And St. Mary's got knocked down. They're going to get a free kick from around the 25-yard line. Now they put it down to 20. Skabikas is going to take the kick. They move that picket fence back a couple of feet. Everybody milling around, looking to go to the net. She line drives it, And nobody could get a piece of it. It went right by the net. Nobody could redirect it. It went out of play. Solid shot by Skabikas, but it just skipped right by everybody. And now they're going to kick it upfield again. You can tell because the defenders go upfield. If they stay there, she's going to give it to one of them. Now she drills it up. Skabikas drills it back and pushed it wide right. And the official on the near side still has not got anywhere near the 50-yard line. Has not crossed the 50-yard line. And the other official is down around the 15-yard line. And he is absolutely still. Popped up, headed away. Now it's the other official is not crossing midfield. I don't know how they make these calls if they're 40 or 50 yards away. And Mary's got a piece. It laid there, but every you got it, I got it, nobody got it. Fuentes kind of tried to knock it upfield. She knocked it off. I think it was off of Woomy. Fuentes puts it in play, headed away by St. Mary's. They knocked it up, but they gave it. They were lucky they didn't get a shot off. Now we got contact against St. Mary's. Newburyport's going to get a free kick. Dead center from the 15-yard line. It looks like Tukalski's going to take it. Now, both officials are out there, and they're telling the picket fence to move back. The official on the inside is coming in for some reason. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's going to mark off the picket fence. And they're fine. So Tukalski with the free kick. They blow it in play, pops it up, got it over the picket fence, but Echeverria able to make the save nicely. St. Mary's got a foot on it, but knocked it into the Newburyport bench area. And they called it off Newburyport. St. Mary's makes a change. Kick back upfield off Newburyport once again in front of the Newburyport bench. Skips past everybody. Newburyport shanked it out to the middle, but they wind up with it and they kick it upfield. St. Mary's kicks it back. St. Mary's collects. Skabikas trying to get around, trying to get it to the net. She put it right on the net, just inside the near post from the far side. And Rabbi made the save. Scoreboard clock is shut off. Final 5 minutes will be kept by the officials down on the field. So right now, St. Mary's enemy is the clock. St. Mary's kicks it out of play. Newburyport got that late goal that we believe was Lucia Savastra. We're not sure because as soon as the goal was scored, again, everybody circled everybody and just blotted the goal scorer out. And we don't have, it's not like tournament time where they'll announce who scored the goal or anybody giving us a heads up. Nobody's reporting anything. So it's strictly guesswork, especially because we're so far away you can't read the numbers. Fuente's keeping it in. Now St. Mary's knocks it out. We're trying to keep it in the St. Mary's end while waiting for the final whistle as we're in the closing minutes. Knocked upfield. Skabikas knocked it away. And Newburyport has it taken away by St. Mary's. And they knock it back up. And they knock it back again. St. Mary's keeping it in. Asta gives it all the way back. St. Mary's trying to knock it up. Bodies go down. Little cross body block. I think took Randy down. Actually, it wasn't 5, it was 15. It was LeClaire that got taken down. Now I look again, and it wasn't. It was Phoebe Whitcomb. Hard to read those numbers. It was 16. So we finally get it right. Newburyport will kick it away. Headed away by St. Mary's, headed back. They kick it upfield. And now it's Whitcomb running into St. Mary's, so St. Mary's will get the free kick. And Newburyport knocks it back upfield. And Newburyport takes it away. And they just knock it deep. They're content to get it into the St. Mary's end. They'll give it back to Echeverria, and she kicks it away. St. Mary's got to get a giddy up in their step. Skabikas goes down again. She spent a lot of time on the turf in this game. That went out of play just before Todd got to it. Headed out. There aren't many teams that don't know the reputation of Sophie Skabikas, and if she gets the ball, they're going to double her, triple her. Here she goes down again. She got wrapped up with Whitcomb. She'll take the free kick. And she's motioning to the picket fence to move back. And the official is finally over the 50-yard line because he has to mark off the picket fence and move them back. This could be their last shot. She gets it up, she hooks it. It's out in front. It's still loose. They can't knock it home. Rabbie grabbed it. Skabikas put it right on the money. It bounced, it hit the crossbar, it bounced down. St. Mary's got a piece of it but couldn't tip it in. And then everybody trying to get a piece, and Rabbie trying to get it, and finally grabbed it and hold it, and she'll kick it away. There was mayhem out in front of the net. We've got a St. Mary's player still down. Skabikas put it right on the money. It was there, and St. Mary's couldn't get a piece. When he finally did, it was almost waist high, and he kicked it into a white shirt, and then it laid there, and Rabbie finally grabbed it. And now they're tending to the player down, favoring the right leg or right ankle. We hope she's going to be okay. Can't come any closer than that to tying it up. Skabigas did all she could. And Newburyport got a break there with that rebound off the crossbar. If it was down a little lower, they might have got a better kick, might have knocked it in, but it was right around waist high, and he just knocked it right into a white shirt. And then as it laid around, Rabbi was able to grab it. Newburyport knocks it back to the St. Mary's end. Time winding down in this one. And those lightning strikes here. Newburyport's going to get their 14th win. As it got blocked and knocked out. And Newburyport's going to get a corner kick. Coming from the far side. And they didn't take it, they just tipped it. And they're just playing with it over there in the corner. They finally blow the whistle, calling it out off Newburyport. They're just trying to kill the clock. And they knock it deep again. And St. Mary's kicks it back upfield, blocked by Newburyport, taken it to the net. And we got a takedown with no call. Well, they're letting them play. They knock it out off Newburyport. St. Mary's trying to go quickly. Can't. Skavikas knocked it loose but can't come up with it. And they knock it back upfield. And a foot race. Newburyport trying to walk in. Bodies go down. They reached for the ball and they got an ankle and took Newburyport down. Let's hope she's okay. And now they blow the whistle. And that's going to do it. So a perfect corner kick, we think, by Skavikas was headed in by Fiona Dunn. St. Mary's had a 1-0 lead. And then it was Sokolsky deep in the near corner, took it up, out, and all the way out across to midfield to the 20-yard line. When it got popped loose, it went right on the foot of Sevilla Coffin. She chipped it from there and just chipped it a little pop fly over the head of Echeverria in net, just under the top crossbar, and it went in, and it made it 1-1 and stayed that way until very late. And a long pass downfield, racing and beating the defense. We think it was Lucia Savastra. She beat the defense down the far side. Echeverria came out to try and cut down the angle, and she blasted it by and made it 2-1, and that was the final score. And in this second half, St. Mary's only had the one chance. Skabikas with that great free kick, kicked it over the head of the goaltender, hit the crossbar, bounced down. It was loose. St. Mary's had a shot, but it bounced about waist high. When they reached up to get it, all they could do was tip it, and it went right into a white shirt, deflected to the goaltender, Rabbi, and that was it. Newburyport virtually kept it in the St. Mary's end almost entirely in the second half. St. Mary's couldn't generate much offense in the second half. So Newburyport will pick up their 14th win. They go 14-1-3, and they'll most assuredly get a home game in the state tournament. And we wish Coach Kevin Sheridan and his Lady Clippers the best in the state tournament. And This is a real good test for St. Mary's getting ready for the state tournament. Patty Curran and his girls will get ready to play in the state tournament. And both goaltenders played well, but a couple of big plays by Newburyport gets them 2 goals, and they win it over St. Mary's 2-1. St. Mary's will go to 9-6-2. So 2-1 Newburyport over St. Mary's in this interleague battle. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.